all over. Testing, testing. Hello. Hello, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Still good. Keep it going. Talk about the fires today. Day 10. Nice and sunny today. Hello. We got to wipe down?
Send you a text at 11:30 if I haven't heard anything, or you're not back.
Ma'am, are you planning on speaking and saying something first? Okay. Absolutely. Okay. So, yes. Okay. Is that okay? Do you want me to move
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Hi,
you,
I'm Donna Lynne.
Hi, pleasure to meet you.
How are you?
so, yep, you have center stage. How do you want to set them up? Media on this side, all the media back this way.
I won't bite you. I promise. You want some lipstick? I offer
Well,
there.
no, but I left my
Are you
room.
done?
Might be a good color for me.
Yeah,
So
come on
Fire
in
Chief
there.
DeTrey, are you open to a couple questions? Are you open to questions?
Yes.
Anybody not open to questions today? You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay.
However you want to do it.
And do you want me to just start? Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, I'm Donna Lynne, the Lieutenant Governor of Colorado. I'm down here with Irv Halter, who is our Executive Director of Local Affairs, and also Representative Valdez, who is probably not a stranger. The governor is going to be down in Alamosa later. We really wanted to see the DAC, the Disaster Assistance Center. We're going to be going over to the Emergency Operations Center and just trying to get a feel from the county commissioners, from the mayor, from the fire chief, and from our own departments, as well as some of the county departments, of what's needed on the ground. I think that's really important. We want to make sure we have a unified response, that the state is doing everything it can do to help people who are out of their homes, who are, concerned, and who ultimately are going to need some financial help, some other help, perhaps with jobs. And we want to make sure that we're supporting the counties that are impacted by this and the businesses that are in the counties, because this is peak tourist season. Unfortunately, that coincides with our fire season, and we know how much many of these communities depend on tourism. We're hoping, and from the briefing I heard, and you can ask the chief, we're seeing some progress, but we know that this is a long haul. Any of these fires are not things that can be extinguished overnight with a fire hose. These are complicated situations. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the chief, and he can give you a little bit of an update.
Hi, Chief David DeTrey, Levita Fire Protection District. First of all, welcome, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you.
Just so everybody knows, this has been an unbelievable scenario to have all these resources. They ask if we've had any problems with that, and I have to say no. We've had what we need, we're getting what we need, and things are moving forward. Just to give you a little brief update, as you know, we've split the fire in two different areas. We have the Spring Fire North and we have the Spring Fire South. Spring Fire North is handled by the blue Type 2 Blue Team, and the Spring Fire South is handled by Team Black. Right now, the majority of our district in Levita Fire Protection District is under Team Black, and happy to report we've had good 3 fire weather days over the last 2 days and yesterday, and things are starting to look up, starting to really turn the corner. We're able to make some right turns and get in there and really improve our lines and keep that laying down. I've got reports of anywhere from an inch, half an inch to an inch of rain within the district on the South Fire. Unfortunately, to report that I don't believe we got any rain on the North Fire. So right now we'll be switching some resources from the south to the north, and all those resources will be put in and being filled as quick as we can. So that's about where we're at. Happy to also report that this morning we're starting to start the reentry program and get people back in their homes. This has been a trying time for a lot of people, but I'll tell you, the Levita community has stepped up, the state, everyone's standing behind me, and there's countless. Levita School, our local fire departments, can't say enough about everybody that's here, National Guard, law enforcement, and I know I miss a lot of people, but it takes a lot of people to do it, and they're all right here backing us up. So thank you.
Chief, could you show us on the map where the fire is the strongest?
Okay, sure. So right now, 160 is our division line. Okay, Team Black to the south, Team Blue to the north. Okay. Right now, most of our fire activity is up here on the western, northwestern, and western edge, and then we also also have some fire activity over here, kind of in the middle of around Gardner in that area. So what we're working on is we switched most of our air assets over to the north side. We still, if we need assets from the air over on the south side, we still have them. We're working more to priority and trying to meet those objectives and work forward from there. So probably this area right here on the north and northwest is probably where we're seeing the most activity, at least on our county side.
As far as structures in that area or population, is there lots of protective there?
There is. So obviously rural county, some of that area is a little more spread out. We have some developments in that area. So we're working real hard with our structure defense teams to get in there, prep those structures, make sure we can save as many as we can.
Do you have a count on how many structures lost so far?
No, I do not have that count.
Can you talk a little bit about the impact that rain especially had on that south portion?
So rain. So the question was, how much impact did the rain have on the fire? So let me tell you, rain is a blessing and a curse, okay? We'll go with the blessing. Obviously we got rain, we get moisture, we get our humidity up. That all comes good to tying into fires and slowing them down and helping cool them down. Here's the bad thing about rain. With rain comes thunderstorms. With thunderstorms comes dry lightning. Thunderstorms comes erratic winds. All these type of things we have to factor in and plan for. In addition to, with as much burn scars we have right now, as you've heard over the years with other fires, and we get a lot of rain, we worry about the impact of flash flooding. So right now, we feel with our assessments, and the county's been out, we've had other people from the fire out, we seem to think that our drainages down low are in pretty good shape. So we're hoping that we can sustain that. But that's another thing that we're definitely keeping an eye on right now, is to make sure that we're prepared if we need to do any pre-evacuations or any evacuations, now not from fire, but from flooding.
How many firefighters do you have out there?
So right now, last count I heard, now remember, we still have firefighting operations in Castilla County, which is run out of the Team Black IC out of Fort Garland. We have the Team Blue ICP, which is in Walsenburg, and then we have our spike camp in our little town of Levita. So between that, I believe we're up to 1,000, but I believe that's growing every day. We may be, like I said, we already have these resources locked into the fire, so we'll move those resources around as necessary, around to that northwest side, as we're getting some favorable weather down here on the south side. Even though it's only 15-20 miles apart as a crow flies, we'll be moving those resources as we need them. Yes, sir.
It's obviously an all hands emergency. We've got response to the local mineral. Moving forward, there are going to be massive economic impact, massive water mitigation impacts. What sort of planning is going on at the state level to assist this area?
Sure.
What is the plan?
Yeah. And actually, the mayor was just talking with us earlier about some of the water plans that were already on the shelf. But as I said, I think almost every state agency is involved right now, from the Department of Education working with the school, to Natural Resources, to CDOT, to our National Guard who is out here. So we're going to be on the ground as long as the community needs us. The next step really is recovery, and making sure that small businesses can recover. We've been providing micro loans to businesses, and we'll accelerate that here. We've been doing that in the location of other fires. But you're right that we're going to have to do a needs assessment of the entire community to determine what else needs to happen besides short-term. A short-term economic loan is only part of it, as the mayor was telling us. If we want to keep saying, come back to Levita and the counties, when this fire is over, because these are great places for people to recreate, for people to live, and we don't want to have people be worried about the local economy. I want to do everything that we can to say we're open for business once we get past the critical stage of the fire. Well, first of all, we've issued executive orders on this fire and a number of other fires to make sure that the emergency funds can be tapped to actually fight the fire, and we're not drawing on local resources to do that. So between federal funds and state funds, there's a lot of money that's being put into fighting this fire and the other fires around the state. But as I said, economic development longer term would mean microloans, would be assistance in helping to rebuild businesses as well. And maybe Irv Halter, who's here from Local Affairs, if there's anything you want to add.
Well, I'll just add that recovery starts right away. That's why Cristina Martinez is here from the Department of Local Affairs. Regional managers show up right away, working with the localities, counties, towns on what they can do and prepare to do next. Assessment's important. We just don't start spending money right away, and not that we don't think there's a need, but we need to understand what that is. So we will help with the financial assessments of the communities. We help them look at their books, where they are, because it's not just the businesses. It's sales tax revenue and other taxes and how those change, how the real estate market changes, etc. So we walk through that, and then we help them find the resources. Some of those may be from DOLA, some of those may be from Office of Economic Development, some of them may be federal. It's really too early to tell. But what we realize about recovery is, we're in the 5th year of the recovery from the floods of 2013. We're deeply involved in that, and not just with federal funds, but with state funds, with the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. It's a team effort. Specifics are hard to come by right now because we don't know the whole scope of the issues, but we'll be there 5 years from now working these kinds of issues. That's what the team does.
I think that's the important message. We're not just here for a visit. We're to hear how the community is doing and to make sure that we have an ongoing presence as they try to recover from this fire and other fires around the state.
We good?
Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for being here, guys.
Thanks. Thank you.